still technically a 90s cartoon. Dexter's Laboratory. That's why it was still pretty awesome. But these action figures are from the year 2000, from kind of the later season runs of the show. But watching the cartoon that started in 1995 with some pilot little episodes before really taking off from 1996 to 1998 and getting a kind of finale sort of movie in 1999 before somebody else took over the show, you know, in the 2000s where these toys are from. Not really my favorite part at all. Those episodes. That original run, it's just every episode was like a classic. So I always wanted action figures even then in some form because there was so much awesome content, so many awesome characters and things in the show. Here they've just went with 3 versions of Dexter. Really would like to see, you know, other characters for these. Obviously Dee Dee and maybe Mandark might have been a second running kind of reoccurring character outside the mother and father. But for play and display, those probably would have made more sense. But here we just have 3 versions of Dexter with some different machinery. At first, they didn't seem like they were actually from the show, but these are all from one episode, Inflata Dee Dee, where she steals Dexter's inflatable balloon kind of suit. So I'll kind of show a clip from the show showing them off as we go through these figures. So I want to go through all 3 of these. There were a few other little trinket kind of Dexter toys and things, just smaller, unmovable figures. I got these because these are the real action figures with moving parts and features and things. And they are 2000s toys, but I'm kind of stretching my realm to include that because I was still enjoying a lot of stuff in the 2000s. Still growing up, maybe more of a teenager then. A little less toy interest and play and collecting at that time. Oh, but now I like to go back and get the stuff that I missed. I definitely miss these. I don't remember ever seeing these, or I would have been like all over them. So I think we'll want to start with the Super Robot one. That seems to be like the main one, just because it's the most simple, like the show. That he has just like a robot body that he gets inside. The packaging listing the features and stuff, so this is kind of still geared as a toy, I think, with the features, but maybe a little taste of collectible as well. We got From Trendmasters. They still like to include some real features in their figures. I'm just impressed they were able to get away with just a small Cartoon Network logo at the top and then just some real ones on the side and back. I figure they would have said they had to have their logo like huge on there. But on the back, some kind of, not exactly instructions, but just demonstrating the things that you can do with the figure. So that'll be helpful to see what all we can make it do and all the kind of pose choices you can make. But we can see right on the back the year 2000, so I'm entering the new millennium here. Been stuck in the 80s, 90s for a while. But they look awesome in the packaging, but it's huge actually. And I want to just open these up and see what they do, and that's going to help display them on the shelf too, take up a little less space, and we get to have some fun with them, because that's what these figures are about. So we want to get Dexter out. You're stupid. So I wanted to see, he's very small, so it said fully posable Dexter. So I wanted to see how fully posable, because I kind of doubted it. The arms look like they just spin in place, although yeah, they just turn all the way around. It has open hands for accessory holding. The head has a little bit of movement. It feels like it's gonna pop off there. He's got the info printed right in the back of his head, so... oh, and the feet have a little turn there. Oh, he is fully posable, if that's what you want to call it. So, I mean, I guess he's a 4-pointer there. I don't think when he was designing Dexter as a cartoon character, he was thinking about action figure form with the proportion. But the mouth is just left like skin tone instead of like painted white inside, so kind of a missing detail there. Probably should have had. So interesting with the figure, but obviously the real feature of these is the bigger device. Here's like a small accessory, like the little 1-button kind of device you'd probably see in the pilot episode where they're turning into the animals. Maybe this one's more supposed to be like a dial more than the single button, but I think they just tried to make it generic enough that it was like something you would see in the show a lot. You'd have like a device. So I think it's a little too thick for him to really hold though. Just barely getting him in his hand. It's really stretching it to hold it, so they actually made it a little thick. These are really secure for this time period. I think they were probably more something you'd see in On Cue or a Sam Goody more than like a toy store, but not sure where exactly these were distributed. I think the price tag on them, like from the stores, were saying around $9 or $10 each. Pretty high, even for that time. We have a sort of little backpack. It demonstrates on the back of the packaging that it's kind of a little jetpack kind of wing thing for Dexter. Whoosh. Kind of seems like with the just doing 3 versions of Dexter, maybe they could have done some of his costumes like Dexter and his like superhero costume and stuff like that, but they just went plain Dexter with the rest. We'll check those all out, but do a little bit of a play with his button and jetpack there. But the meat here is this big robot. I've never seen this in the package. His arm is like sealed in plastic. Never seen a figure that has a thing like this. It's like sealed. Okay, but the other one isn't. He has got 2 arms. What are you doing? You gotta bust it out there. So it's got like the cockpit kind of thing. The figure fits in there. Okay, there's like a little joystick thing that actually moves like a control. Not that you could really put that in his hand exactly. It kind of holds him in place a little bit. You can seal him in there. He's using his robot. So it articulates weird. It's like to the side and side. There's not really a way to turn this so he can do that like forward. So that's a little weird. That's not how I thought it was going to be moving. Kind of does this like side. The legs just kind of move like this, but they do have some knee a little bit there. Not a lot, just a little bit, so it's a little posable. I'd say he's kind of loose on the legs, but it can stand on its own alright, and I mean, it's a very big surface for the feet to stand. I like this, like the Dexter-y kind of D logo here, and the strip, they didn't just leave it white, they did kind of put a little bit of something on there. Didn't go all the way up to the back, they left that. But the jetpack kind of thing, you can go on this as well. It's just an option that you can put it directly on Dexter, or it just goes on the robot, which is kind of handy too. Probably another reason, I suppose, they didn't paint that. It's just going to cover with that piece most of the time. But both hands have a claw thing, and it's actually a missile too. Double. That seems pretty impressive to me. If you're just trying to use it with the hands like claws, they don't really like open, they're just kind of set like this. But they're both active missile launchers, so you can hit the little button, you can shoot both. That is kind of nice. And depending how you would be playing with this, if you were, it kind of looks a little more like his show robot without the claw. Because I don't think it had clawish hands, but it is a very Dexter-y, like classic style to have the robot with the claw hands. So it's just funny that this had to be really like, this is the real action figure and Dexter's like an accessory to himself here. It is my invention. You can see inside there the arm peg so it can move. A lot of the others have features like rebuild and stuff. This is just the robot. There's no like building it differently. You just have the option with the backpack if you kind of accessorize Dexter or his machine. And I think they all come with like a little accessory for Dexter to hold. You kind of get some fairly classic little accessories for him alongside here as we go through these. I'd probably call this one the main one. Kind of like a basic pleaser one, but not really anything like, ooh, amazing. I would have been satisfied if I just had this. Like back in the 90s watching them, I would have been like, ooh, I kind of want to play Dexter. I always wanted like some of the superhero parodies as toys. I like them a lot too. But they never seem to really go full toy with Dexter here. So that's why I'm kind of researching and found these. I was like, these are pretty like toyish of the time. And I don't know, I just thought it'd be a cool collectible to remember the show that I watched so much. A new age classic. The next one, just another Dexter, but this is the Bird Ship. Not Birdman and not Blue Falcon either. So... but there you can see that price tag that was probably from the store. $9, pretty big deal. Pretty expensive for the time. It is a big package figure too. Maybe it was specialty because they weren't selling a ton of toys of Cartoon Network. I mean, that was like when it was like starting out and hitting it big, but even by 2000 it was by far a name brand. And I don't know why they maybe kind of limited run these a little bit. But again, more Cartoon Network and Dexter pictures on the side. This is an interesting one. It looks like you can do like some different combinations for this. But here on the back it's showing like a couple different combinations and things you can do. So, you know, I liked how fun these looked, that they did different stuff even if it wasn't exactly show represented stuff. And it's a little disappointing that you can't get other characters, which is the big thing. How could you at least not include Dee Dee? So that first one, I don't think there was an instruction booklet, but since you can do some combinations and changes here, we got some, just a little guide if you need help with the parts. But I think should be able to figure it out easily enough. Seems to come with some large talons. This one's tiny accessory is like this little ray gun, retro style. Definitely something Dexter would have handy there. So another kind of useful one to deck out your imaginary lab with. So many twisty ties. I ain't got time for that. So this is the Dexter from this one. Looks like the same body, but we do get different expressions with each one. This one's a little more serious and angry, and then the mouth is closed, so you don't have that problem of the unpainted teeth. This might be maybe a better expression for him, except he's just always like, "What is it that you are looking at?" But we just have the same arm and leg twist and head. But hey, different expression. And of course he can be holding his little ray gun. Zap. So we got the bird ship. What, something goes somewhere here. Got the legs and the wing, thighs and the breast. Wait, this isn't a bucket of chicken. Sadly, it's more complicated than I thought. I'm gonna need this instruction book. Looks like we need to pop the talons into the feet, but those are actually missiles too. I think they have to go in specific feet to match. We have this one, and we can put Dexter inside this. So he has his bird legs, and then you just put the bird helmet on. He kind of looks like the G-Force kind of thing they had on Cartoon Network where they adapted the anime, because the clear beak helmet. The instructions say you may hold on to the helmet so it doesn't fall off during flight. So it doesn't really stay on too well. It doesn't snap on particularly well. But it's like his bird suit. I don't know, I just look at the bird thing and I just think, that's Professor Hawk, shooby-doo-doo-doo. That's what it makes me think of. But here's Bird Dexter. I mean, I guess you could probably swap the other Dexters with this stuff if you wanted a happy Bird Dexter instead of angry Bird Dexter. This really wasn't making sense until I kind of figured out the fuselage piece can come apart. So now we can put the legs inside. It's a little janky. He's got to kind of bend and just have the feet poking out, but you got to have the wings up here. Close this around. And then the tail piece that kind of came off can lock it in place. I guess maybe the head helps a little bit if we push that down on there. Bird ship. But he just has like a hole here that seems like there was going to be a feature. There's not. Bird ship, there it is, I guess. A little strange. It does work, but I don't know if I quite did it right. It goes sort of together. Bird ship, but Dexter can't be inside flying it. It's just bird machine. But again, it's the same thing with the robot. It has double missile action. You can shoot the talon. Ching. Boom. Now I have no feet. This one looked cooler in the box than getting my hands on it. I don't know how I would display that. Maybe just him in the bird suit is kind of the coolest look. Because just having this big plastic orange bird is just going to be confusing on my shelf. And take up a lot more room, I think. But I'm still going to have that extra piece that you don't use when he's in the bird suit. Strange choice. I mean, I get it. This just seems something weird that he would have, like, all of a sudden using his bird thing that, like, he has more efficient inventions he could be using, but instead it's like, today I will use elaborate bird costume to solve this problem. I think it is impressive that it actually stands up. It seems like it would be not really properly balanced. But probably a good thing there is some instructions, because I was quite confused. In case you need a little pic of that one to use if you pick one of these up somewhere, put that on screen, because it's a little weird about, it doesn't demonstrate completely about separating that main body part. You can insert the leg piece. Here it's demonstrating something pulling apart. I don't think he's supposed to go inside the bird. You wouldn't be able to see him anywhere in there anyway. But there's the bird ship. Pretty cool. Difficult. Challenging. He's not privy to coming apart. Hey, you get the helmet part off now. He's on there tight, Captain. There's no way he's gonna fit in there with all the other stuff. Go, Dexter family, go. Meow, 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 meow. Is he supposed to go in here? What's the point? There's just a little hole that you see as orange hair. It's a lot easier when he's not in there, and also you can't see him when he's inside. So what the bird is going on? And the third and final Dexter here, the rocket ship variation. Construct a colossal rocket. I don't remember a lot of space action with Dexter, but definitely seems fitting for him. This one looks like it has a lot of variation of transforming and stuff too. Maybe even better than the bird ship. And then just kind of note, like, as you can see it in the package, what it looks like it comes with. Because the other one came with the baton and then the ray gun. You can't really see a small accessory here. So keep that in mind. I believe there is one. It's a pretty good one. So once again, I will open the box. This one seems like it comes with a lot of plastic. But there it was at the bottom corner. His little accessory, the old classic wrench. He just kind of always had a wrench in so many scenes, and it was like sometimes one of his main weapons and stuff too. We got the wrench for him, the third little accessory there. Pretty important one in this one. And it was kind of hidden in the package. The twist tie thing gets really exhausting. Another one where there's like plastic seal around these. And I guess I kind of appreciate the extra protection. Can't really say I've seen that before. I don't know if that's to protect discoloring things or what that is. First is the Dexter figure in this one. Again, the same body, but here we have a different expression, but the mouth is painted white. So I don't know why that one kind of got skimped. Kind of got a side mouth thing going on here. Nothing on this side. Grrr, what are you doing in my laboratory? Got a little bit of a eyebrow there up too there. Smell what Dex is cooking here. A little bit different arms. They're on like a hinge, like going up and down. So you can't really turn them like the other ones, so a little bit different there. All of them still do have like the little plug on the back to do that jetpack thing from the first one. This one's a little bit different, and it is cool we have all different expressions that are just always putting the same Dexter in all the boxes. So it looks like we can just make a little device here with two pieces slapped together. It shows him holding his wrench. Like he's just working on a little machine here. That's kind of weird. That's one configuration this is supposed to be able to do. Another one, we have a little spacey suit. And we have the dome. Makes me think of like the capsule kind of cheap toys. You put like quarters in the machine. Kid. So we got this little jet piece. That's kind of the back. You can see the feet. The back of his little spacey suit. Gotta pop those arms up and line this up. Some pegs. So he's in his little spacesuit there. Looks like the tabs go front and back. Snaps into place. And these are maybe supposed to be little jets, but they're also the missile launchers. Everything has double missile. Pretty sure that's everybody's pretty much favorite action feature is to have missiles. Looks like these tab wing things maybe are the launch thing? No? Here's the button. I'm afraid turning it or something I'm gonna poke my eyeball out or something here. Oh yes, here you can see there's a seam. Just the orange is the button. I thought this whole thing was so he can launch his missiles. Again, all the launchers have been pretty strong and nice too, so. And they are button activated, you know. I hate those ones where you have to like flick the end to trigger it. Nothing more lame than that. You go through all the trouble having a missile launcher and there's no button. These have the button. You have no idea what it does. There's a little spacey suit Dexter. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't even really have to say it's a spacesuit. It's just like, just one of his many gadgets and things. That is a cool version of that one. I think this just expands further. So you start with this at the base, and then there's the kind of more rockety fuselage part here. We separate that first little device thing. And then I think this is like the rocket tip. And then this is the rocket bottom going down. We just close it on top. Right? Oh no, this one doesn't go inside. I think just the tip. Actually, it says it goes down further, but I can't really get it down any further. Oh, there we go. So just that little gray sticking up. There's this rocket thing, and then this has a nub here at the bottom. And we have like a hole on this side here to insert there, and then that is the complete rocket, the full rocket suit. Dexter can blast off. So I do like it all combines together. I don't know if you can shoehorn in the wrench there, but that's just like the separate accessory. So you can do full stage rocket, and he can break down into the suit and then down further. Pretty cool. Again, very cool toyish design. This is very like makes you think rocket for some reason. His color schemes with the purple and oranges, like his gloves and hair. That is kind of cool, the full rocket. I just like these as like, they seem very old school even if they are just the year 2000. That's still plenty old. So I like that this one has a lot of forms and possibilities here. He is very hidden in here when he's in the full rocket. You just kind of get to see him through the window going like, hey. But all three together kind of makes up a pretty cool lineup of very Dexter-ish style inventions. It's a little tough to rank because they all kind of have their strengths and weaknesses. The full form of the bird ship is kind of lame. You don't have Dexter really inside visible like you have him in the rocket. A super robot. But he kind of has the bird version here that he kind of sticks out a little bit. I just feel like I can't leave this one fully assembled with the bird because it's strange how it's like so separate. I like the three tiny accessories. They're very like fitting for any Dexter version, especially the button kind of antenna thing and the wrench. Tough to pick a real winner. The style and then the very, very different color of the bird one is cool, but it's probably more the third place pick there. Possibly the best Dexter with him though. I like that expression. A little more fitting than the very wide-eyed one with the robot one, and then the no painted mouth is kind of a lacking detail. But the rocket ship one does have the painted teeth. He just kind of has a very weird expression on his face. So probably something, you know, representing the show more, the robot body. But as a toy, maybe the rocket one is kind of the coolest because it does all come together. Almost reminds me of like the Centurions, where they kind of have the light suit and then they would have the heavy suit, you know, they could put on too, all their different weapon systems. Dexter has his like multi-stage rocket, like a multi-stage weapon system. Here he's got his full like missiles and everything. Very protected in the rocket and with the windshield kind of bubble. Pretty cool. Mostly the Dexters were interchangeable, but I can see where like the arms here needed to kind of tee out for the suit. So I don't know if you could really use the other Dexters with the rocket, but the rocket Dexter probably fits with the other ones and you can mix and match. I probably want to keep them together as they came, just to kind of represent these as this toy line, like a mini toy line here, representing Dexter's Laboratory show. Would have been happy to have any one of these back in the 90s watching the first episodes, but these didn't come out to the year 2000, where I was probably still enjoying some reruns, but might have been spending my money more on the gaming than the action figures. I've kind of come back to collecting, so it was cool to rediscover this and go, hey, I did miss out on some really cool Dexter action figures. Still pretty vintage, so they fit into my collection pretty well too, and a cartoon I watched a lot. I just would have liked to see other characters in here somehow too. But we got what we got. I can kind of make a little Cartoon Network-esque shelf or something. Have the Dexter versions, maybe with some other representatives of cartoons I always watched on Cartoon Network. Really liked Cartoon Network when it was mostly old cartoons rerun on there from all the past. Got to see so many cartoons I missed out on. So once they did start getting their own programming and own original cartoons, I kind of watched it less and less because of that. And then the Boomerang kind of channel was like a more paid exclusive that we never really got. I kind of got to miss out on getting to keep watching those cartoons, the old ones. That was the Cartoon Network I really preferred, but Dexter was such like an homage to so many like sci-fi and action shows and movies and superhero and things. Like every episode of the old run is like an absolute classic. So that's why I like to represent my kind of favorite stuff of the past. Typically opening up more 90s time period action figures, even though this one's more like a 2000, 2001. But I liked things from before and after, and you know, even today I don't just like I don't strictly live in the past, but kind of aim this YouTube channel at that as best I can, just to have a good theme of nostalgic action figure awesomeness that I like to put on my shelf. So these are ones I don't think a lot of people knew about. So I like kind of showing these off. I loved opening them and kind of imagining how awesome it would have been to sit there and watch the old cartoons rerun. seeing new episodes come on if I would have had these. But I like to get them now and kind of relive that. It kind of makes me want to watch like all the old Dexter cartoons now. So if you like the way I show off these action figures, I got plenty of playlists and things. You want to click on the channel and kind of find the tab of like playlists and stuff like that. It's an easy way to see all the videos organized and good ways to start watching. You can find something that you're interested in, stuff that you had or stuff you wish you had. And hopefully I show a lot of stuff you've never seen before too. So don't let YouTube pick what's next. You take control. That way I'll get to see you in the next video for a change.